In the margins. Today's world is a tough baseline. It's more difficult than ever to just exist or get by, and it's not getting any easier. Moving forward in today's world has become both an art and a science. Food, clothing, temporary shelter, long-term housing, short-term jobs, temporary employment, or long-range careers. It all takes some help and finesse. Not everyone can do it. It's an art and a science. And let's face it, not everyone is a scientist. Some people need more help than others. The basics like reliable transportation, internet, laundry, a regular shower, even water, those basics we all take for granted. Electricity, these are the challenges of those caught in the net, are homeless, unhoused, housing challenged, living in the margins. People of all ages, young, middle-aged, senior citizens, entire families, male, female, all reasons and all walks of life. Anyone can find themselves living in the margins. Homelessness and the challenges that go with it are not going away, and we can't ignore them. It's just too expensive. We've got to do better. Take the next step forward. Tune in now and listen to Working in the Margins.
Hello, hello, hello. San Bernardino, Inland Empire, welcome back. This is Shazad, and you are tuned in to Working in the Margins. And I am happy to say today I got a full table. These fine brothers sitting next to me. And I'm going to introduce you to them. And you all know my co-host with the most, Epiani Lockhart.
Hello.
Hey, Epiani. How you doing?
Doing well, sister. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. How was y'all Valentine's Day? Did you do anything special?
Survived it.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I'm single, so I save money in that regard.
All right. A savings is a savings. Okay, doctor.
I was sick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was sick, so I didn't even get out to get a card. I had to go into the card archive.
Oh, man. He said I had to dig around. You know, I was, now that you say that, I was out last week because I didn't do a show last week because I was sick. This whatever flu allergies concoction going around right now. But I called Kaiser and they were on strike, and I was like, I might as well just try to tough it out because I don't know when I'm gonna get what I need. But they did really well, even on strike. I support the strike. I was like, I'm not going in there. I'm not doing it. So they ordered me a Z-Pack, and then I was like right back at it.
Good.
So I was like, good, but it's still kind of lingering. But last week I sounded like Kermit the Frog, and I was like, no, I'm not going to torture people with that. So community, I'm happy to be back here today. We're right in the middle of Black History Month, which is the month that this is the 100th anniversary of the celebration of Black History Month.
Awesome.
So we've done this 100 times, 100 years. And this year, sadly, but he went on to his great reward. And this morning we lost Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. And I have five degrees of separation with Jesse Jackson that I want to share real quick. When I was 18, 19, 20, I think it was 88, so I was 20 or 21. I was living and working and going to school in Los Angeles. I was running a little flower shop on Imperial and Crenshaw. So I don't know if you guys know, because that's where I was, you know. Yeah. Well, let me go back. I was raised out there till 13, came out here until I was 18, and then went back to Los Angeles until I was 23. But I worked out there. My family was still out there. So when the Reverend ran for president in 88,
84 and 88.
88, he came to Crenshaw and Imperial to a Pizza Hut with his team from the Rainbow Push Coalition.
Wow.
To try, to get folks energized around the campaign and what he was doing and everything. And that was my first. I signed up because it was like through the Southwest College. That's where I was going. I signed up to work on the campaign.
Wow.
And that was my first campaign as a voting adult that I worked on.
Awesome.
And he was an amazing person. He gave us a couple of things that we needed, we always will need, and we will always remember him by. He said, I am somebody.
Yes. Yes.
Amen.
I am somebody. And at a time when you weren't hearing that because there was so much racial separation, there was a lot of, it was his campaign for president was polarizing. So there was a lot of racial things, just going on at that time that he was being confronted with. But he always had this way. I call it swagger, but he had a confidence about himself, and I think it was rooted in the belief that he cared about his people, and he wanted the best for his people. So when we started hearing that I am somebody, and they let him go on Sesame Street, and they, tell everybody, had all the black people saying I am somebody at a time when we were probably really afraid to speak up, almost like some of us are now.
Well, we're kind of in that.
Yeah,
I am somebody.
Yeah.
I am somebody, and that was, those little words, those 3 little words. It's not just a slogan. It's not just a mantra. It is an identifier. It's letting folks know that I am somebody and I deserve to be treated like I am somebody. All the rights and all the, all the justices, everything, and keep hope alive.
Amen.
Yes. Yes.
Amen.
That's right.
And keep hope alive.
Definitely.
That's what I'll remember him for. Those 2 very powerful, not a lot of words, but man, do they mean the world when you need them to, something to tap into. So I'm going to dedicate this show to Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. God rest his soul, and
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
glad that he's finally reached his heavenly reward. He had been ill for some time. Blessings and everything to his family, and
sure.
his supporters. And I was so sad. I was sad for the world, but I was sad for Reverend Al Sharpton because they were very, very close. And Rev Al, he had been going back and forth to see him in the hospital recently. And I can't wait to listen to his show later because I know he's going to do him justice on it, on his show, on Rev Al's show later on this afternoon. So, hey, I want to go ahead and continue. I don't want to, this is a time to rejoice. He lived a great life. He had a great life. He made an impact. We're not going to be sad about that. So, but
If
Go
anything, we need to look in the mirror of self-reflection and see how we going to continue that legacy. Of I
Amen.
am somebody.
Yes.
How are we keeping hope alive?
big shoes.
Yeah.
He left big shoes. But I feel like together we can all feel them.
Yes, indeed.
We can feel them and keep that going on. That's right, Ivyani. That's we're not gonna let that legacy die. So again, I want to welcome my guests. So I'm just taking full advantage of all the people that Ivyani knows.
That's
that
right.
I get to know now
That's right.
because
That's
I'm
right.
like, hey, bring your friends, sir.
Yeah.
I have 2 gentlemen here. To my right is Dr. Okay, I don't want to butcher.
No Sakari.
No Sakari Thomas.
Yes.
And you are the CEO and director of the Inland Empire Black Worker Alliance.
Worker Center.
Worker Center.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. And then Mr. Gennaro Wahid.
Yes.
Tell me where you are from.
I'm in Riverside right now.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But originally
what's
from
your-
the South, though.
Oh,
Speaking of
originally
Harlem.
from
What part
Alabama.
of the South? Alabama.
Deep,
Okay.
deep South.
I'm from the deep. My folks are from the deep South in Louisiana.
Me too.
Yeah. We
Baton
right
Rouge.
there, Plaquemine.
Where the Boudin at?
Right
That's my
there.
question.
Yeah.
Where the gumbo?
And today is Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
So we celebrate all of our traditions. They're really, really important. And Mr. Wahid, you are the co-founder of the Sahaba Initiative.
Yeah, I'm one
Right.
of the co-founders of Sahaba Initiative.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, good. So we're gonna talk about that. So first, gentlemen, and I'm gonna go from left to right. When you hear the phrase "working in the margins," That's the title of my show.
Yeah.
Working in the margins with Z.
Yeah.
When
The
you hear
shameless
the words
self-plug.
working in the margins, what does it mean to you personally? And how
Okay.
has it shown up in your work?
So most of the organizations I work with have always been like a diverse group. And I always been trying to find a way to bring in those individuals that we forget in those diversity.
That's right.
So one of the problems, like you hear, like some of the nomenclature we have is like, we're going to create a coalition. And then when we put these people together, what end up happening is the person who needed the most help don't get the help because it's harder to help the people in real need.
Yeah.
That's what I think of the margins.
Yeah,
It's like those people who actually seem to fall off.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Because in between those spaces, I can see a lot of individuals of color, also individuals with handicaps,
Yes.
individuals, you know, you never think how hard it is to make it to up the stairs until you hurt your leg, right? And then you think of who had a wheelchair who couldn't get up the stairs. So that's what I think of.
I love that. I love that. And Dr. I'm going to say Dr. Thomas.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Okay. Dr. Thomas, when you hear the phrase working in the margins, what does that bring to your
Yeah. Working in the margins for me means really kind of our history here as black people in this country, right? So we were working perhaps underneath the margin or underneath the book, you know, as when we were enslaved.
right?
Right. And so since that time until now, we have always been operating not from center, not from focal point, but from the sidelines and from the
sidelines.
margins. And so we are always struggling to try to be heard, to be seen, to be felt, to be on equal footing.
Yes.
And so, but the hope, the aspirational part is that we're working.
Yes.
That we're
Yes.
moving. We're not
Yes,
dead. We
that's
haven't
the main-
died. We're
that's the
not
main
pushing
word.
up daisy.
Working.
We're working,
Mhm.
right?
That's the main-
And we're trying to
Yeah.
make something happen. We've got agency.
Yes.
We can build power.
Yes.
We understand power building.
Yes.
So the working part is what we're focusing
I
on.
love that. I love that. So, I have, I show prep. My community knows that I do a lot of research, and I do show prep. And I have folks that are helping me do show prep. But before we do titles, and I want to know a little bit about you. I want to know a little bit about why you do this. And I'm going to actually start with Ipyani. I want you to give us a little bit, Ipyani, about why today are you doing what you do today?
You know, I would say it's a continued legacy coming from the advocacy that my grandfather and grandmothers did on my mom's side and my father's side, looking at the advocacy that my mother and father have done it throughout their lives. It's what's been modeled for me to make a difference for those that have
Did
been
you feel like you had a choice?
Oh, yes, I definitely felt like I had a choice because my parents had never forced any their career paths or anything. Only thing that they encouraged was educating yourself, being a person of character, being a trustworthy and honorable person, knowing that, hey, when you leave this house, you represent this last name, and this last name is older than you are. And one day you will hope one day I hope that I continue the legacy, right?
Right.
So it's been what's modeled for me. And then to me, it's like, it's a part of humanity. Community, we're a communal species. So to
Right.
me, it's just like a fish to water. I've always kind of been a natural leader. My dad would tell stories about how we would go up to different beaches when we used to drive up the one towards Northern California. And me and my brother, about time we leave, we got 7 or 8 friends, you know? You know what I mean? So
Really?
been blessed just to have that kind of spirit of a gravitation, I should probably
love
say,
it. I
where
love
people are attracted.
You have a magnetic personality.
Absolutely.
You do. Mr. G, tell me. Tell me.
I don't.
Mr. G, I like that one.
I know, but I don't think I had a choice. I love the way you asked, is did he have a choice? Because even when we started a Sahaba initiative, most of the community had a place in Riverside, and you know, I lived in San Bernardino off of 9th Street over here. There was apartments there, and I remember taking my son to school one day, and we made him lunches. And one day we was walking to the school, and the kid was walking back. And I know him. He was from our apartment. I was like, why are you walking back? He said, well, they sent me back home. I've been expelled. I said, why were you expelled? He said, well, because I had Brad knuckles. I said, this is elementary school, boy. What are you doing with Brad knuckles? He said, well, he said, because the other kid had a knife. I was like, oh, God.
Wow.
So when you say I didn't have a choice, it's like, I feel as though God put you in certain
Yes.
places.
Sure.
And like, I wouldn't have chose to come back to San Bernardino, to be honest about it. But you're sent where the medicine is needed, right? And if you have a blessing, as they say, you get a blessing, to be able to help other people.
Blessing, talent, or gift.
Right. So, I was sent to San Bernardino, and I left again and got sent back again.
Right. Right.
And been trying to do work ever since. So I don't feel I had a choice. And if I tried to run, I feel like Jonah.
Right.
Send the whale out.
And I absolutely understand that. I absolutely understand it. Tell me, Dr. Thomas, because your niche right now is kind of very particular, but I know it probably hasn't been your whole life. You've done everything, but right now is your focus and emphasis is on employment and justice, and for Black workers, worker rights, for Black workers. What drew you to that?
Where did that start?
Where did that start?
Yeah, so my mother left Baton Rouge, Louisiana, mid-60s. She was pregnant with me, left my father. Things weren't working out. She was not a victim, but she was a survivor of a relationship that didn't go well.
Right.
Where she was being stepped out on and so forth and so on. She came to Southern California pregnant with me and had twin boys and my sister who's just older than me. And she came to Southern California as a woman. Thankfully, she was an LVN, and so she could find work. But I saw her struggle being a woman. I saw her struggle with work, getting shifts, getting equity as she worked in the Los Angeles area hospitals. I saw her struggle with poverty and struggle with transportation, struggle with being a single mom raising. And so I saw the convergence and the intersections of all of these kinds of oppression
Right.
experience there, from the oppression of being a woman, oppression of being a worker, experiencing poverty, and so many of these things. It just gave me kind of the mindset or the disposition of working for the advocate.
Right.
Being able to see them, find
Right.
them, acknowledge them, hear from them, let them know
Wow.
I'm seeing them,
Wow.
and then advocate for them.
Wow.
I've been doing that for a long time, and it hurts me, it pains me when people are hurt, when they're bullied, when they're taken advantage of. And so
Right.
my calling, my ministry, my work, no matter where I find myself, is to the least, the last, the unlucky, and the left out.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. That's powerful. I love that. Okay, so I have a couple questions. When did your people come here? Because
In
it
which
sounds,
wave?
because it sounded like, yes, there was a wave of that going on at the time.
Absolutely.
Because that sounds like the exact story that happened with my grandmother coming here, except that the man came with her.
Was that good or bad,
My
though?
grandfather was a rogue, and we loved him. That was our daddy, and we loved him. But the whole family eventually came. My dad and everything. It was around 66, 64, 66.
Yeah, same time.
60, because I was born in 67 here, so my dad had been here for maybe a year. But there was a wave, and you are so right. The oppression at that time, even though you could buy a house for $180,000, and it was still or less. What $1,800?
Yeah, 20, 30,000.
Yeah, it was less, but it was still hard.
Yeah.
It was still so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we came from strong stuff
Yeah. Right.
because our folks survived that. They got
Absolutely.
good jobs.
Absolutely.
Gone are the days of where I'm hot, y'all. Y'all date. So I gotta, you know.
Do it. Self-care. Self-care.
Oh no, I don't care. Oh no, I gotta do what I gotta do.
No, I'm saying
Right.
self-care.
Oh,
Take
okay,
care of
yeah.
yourself.
I was
Take care
gonna
of
say,
yourself.
I'm a
Take
woman
care
of
of
a certain age. Y'all know that. I'll be 60
I hear you.
soon.
I hear you.
It was so, you know, and like I don't know about your people, but like I had aunts that they got good jobs, like what they call good jobs, like at Pac Bell. And they were able to start working there at 18 or 19 years old, and they retired from there when they were 50. You know, my aunt worked for McDonnell Douglas, and you know she had a good job. She was a real riveter, you know. And then my uncles and my dad, they had good jobs with the city.
Yep.
You know, so it was even though it was tough, there were opportunities that don't really exist now.
True.
You know, that we've lost along the way.
True.
You know,
You know, I
go ahead.
Like to chime in.
I forget sometimes I got a co-host, and I don't mean to, cause he's everything. So Ipiani.
No, you know, one thing that how you spoke about, you know, my grandmother, my mom's mother would talk about good roots, right? How we've been blessed to come from good roots. But one thing that has always inspired me from watching my mom, my dad, my aunts, and my uncles, because like literally all my aunts and girl cousins either have masters or higher, right? Some of them got doctorates. Some are actually doctors, right? It shows me that it's still a way. Because we had a conversation offline where we were talking about how the word oppression may not resonate with everyone, right? But regardless of the systemic issues and extra things that we have to navigate in this country, that you still can find a way. You still can make a way.
Yes.
And I think that's
We
so
say in spite of.
in spite of. Yeah, in spite of.
They don't disappear.
Totally.
But you know, some people find a way. Like you said, I'm sorry. cut you off. Go ahead,
by
man.
all means, brother. But yeah, so yeah, to make a way, and to me, like that's that keeping hope alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Knowing that, hey, regardless of how dark
I
it
like
may
that
get,
tie-in. I
you know
love
what I
it. I
mean. That
know.
we can make a way, and
I
there is a
know.
path for each one of us that leads to fulfillment, impact, and purpose. You know.
And sometimes we just need to find the helpers. And, you know, we need to look for the folks like Dr. Smith or Dr. Thomas, because you have taken that on as a platform to help people find employment, you know, and to make sure that they have their employment rights on the job, as you know. We're gonna go to break because I'm watching the clock and I'm like, man, it's going by too quick, and I have still so much to ask you both. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back after a minute. We're not gonna take a long break, and we'll be right back.
Except by a child with no socks and shoes. If you've got more to give, then you've got to prove. Put your hands up and I'll copy you and stand up.
KCAA. There's a warning against relying only on a smartwatch to detect for high blood pressure. Michael Kastner reports.
A recent University of Utah health study shows the watch falsely alerts people without high blood pressure and also misses alerts for some who do have high blood pressure. Those involved in the study say smartwatches can support regular blood pressure checks, but not replace them. High blood pressure is the leading cause of heart disease.
Apple and Google are partnering to bring Gemini technology to the iPhone operating system. Per the multi-year deal, Google's AI models will be the foundation for Apple Intelligence's new enhancements. It's expected to roll out later this year. And Apple is hosting its next product launch next month in New York, London, and Shanghai. The iPhone maker announced the event Monday, calling it an in-person experience. It's a shift from previous launch events that have been held at the Apple campus in Northern California. It's unclear if it will be live streamed, which has been the case for those types of events since 2020. TAC Report, I'm Matt Mattinson.
KCAA.
All right, we back. Thank you so much for tuning in to Working in the Margins with Z. That's me. We are in KCAA here in lovely downtown San Bernardino at the Teamsters Local 1932 building. You can find us online at kcaaradio.com. You can also find us on the radio at 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Eric likes my engineer extraordinaire likes to say you can listen to us in Paris, California, or in Paris, France.
Right.
Fromage.
Yeah. So, Doctor, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to Mr. G. Okay, because there's
Gennaro,
something,
Gennaro.
Mr. Gennaro, because so you reverted to Islam
Uh-huh.
in 1998.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I had it in some notes.
Some knows, yeah.
Okay. What was that like, that transformation? Why did you feel you needed to make that transformation? What was going on with you at the time?
Oh, man. Let me just tell the truth here.
Okay.
So, literally what was happening is I actually read the Bible. So,
Okay.
matter of fact, my mom used to go to the church up the way here, and I go talking to the reverends and talking to people, a lot of different information they gave me. And I read a passage about Jesus of Nazareth. So then I looked up Nazareth, right? So they don't cut their hair, they don't cut their beard, they don't drink alcohol, they don't visit anybody in the graveyards. It's like a whole host of things. So I said, well, what these people are doing, I think they're not, because my family's native.
Okay.
So my whole family drinks. So when they said they don't drink, I was like, this can help.
Right.
Because my family has some issues. But anyway, the fire water is really the fire water.
Right.
Anyway, so I started practice what is called Natherans, right? So in that practice, when I talk to other Christians, they'll say, I don't know nothing about that. And then a couple of people told me, you must be one of those Muslims. So I didn't know what that was.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
So they literally told me, you must be one of those Muslims. You don't drink, you don't eat pork. What's wrong with you? So after that long conversation, someone I ran into actually was Muslim. And they said, oh, you're a Muslim. I said, I don't know what that is. He said, oh, here's a Quran. So he gave me a Quran. And every once in a while, I run into him again. And he'll say, are you a Muslim yet? And I said, I don't know how that happened, but I didn't finish the book yet. So let me finish this book, and then we can have a discussion. So after maybe like 2-3 years of me reading the book, having a little understanding, I actually identified as Muslim, right? So probably conversion from 96, 97, 98.
Okay.
So like from that period, it was more like studying, trying to better myself, and then as Islam unfolded on me, I ended up starting to have a better understanding.
Okay. Have you raised your family now as
Muslim? Yes. And we're just now starting Ramadan. Tonight will be the first night.
Okay.
And then tomorrow morning be the first morning of fasting. So
Tell me, what do you do at Ramadan? How does that work?
For me, it's like wake up before the sunrise, pray, meditate, kind of recenter myself. And after recentering myself, then get ready for the day. Make sure I eat something, make sure my family eat a little something. And then after the prayer, then when the sun rises, no more eating or drinking until sunset.
Okay.
And then when sunset, then we usually either try to do something communal, right? Work together at some place and where we can eat together. And then we break fast together, and then we do more prayers for the rest of the night.
Okay.
And one thing that I found that I've learned connecting with some of the brothers and sisters at the Redlands Islamic Development Center is that there is like if you're a senior or an elder that you don't, you might need to have water. There's like a window of grace for some.
Yeah, there's definitely expiations, right? So you have conditions. Everything, the deen is kind of like designed in the way where there's conditions for things.
Okay.
So if you're a woman on their cycle, they don't fast on their cycle. If you're old and you have to take medications or you're not able to fast, you're not obligated. They have like ways where you can
like an opt-out.
It is, but there's still some work behind it.
Right,
There's no
right.
like free ride.
Right.
So you have to feed someone according to your means.
Oh.
So each day that you miss, you have to actually feed somebody.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that way, if like for example, my wife had kids back to back to back. So during her pregnancy, she didn't fast. So we had to find a way to feed people during that time.
Did she feed you?
No. That was, you might say otherwise, but
Because I think that's how the husbands put on their pregnancy weight with you.
I say we pregnant.
We pregnant.
Yeah. I think
certainly
I
did.
gained 30 pounds each kid.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
definitely, it's a journey. It's a journey, definitely.
That's amazing.
Definitely, and because know that you do. I've known Brother Gennaro for well over a decade. You know, we used to march together with
ICUC, yeah, those
and
were the
doing
days,
peace
the
walks,
signs,
right?
peace walks.
We always seem to be the flag bearers,
Right.
But it was a blessing.
It is a blessing,
It's definitely
yes.
a blessing.
That's awesome.
But I want to kind of pivot and talk about the work that you do through Muslim Arc.
Oh, okay.
And then as well as I believe a collaboration with the anti-racism as well.
Yeah, anti-racist
Oh, I gotta
collaborative.
talk to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Muslim Arc, you can imagine like we were having this uprising with George Floyd, pre-George Floyd, and all these
Right.
other things. And in the Muslim community, we kind of had to address some internal issues of racism. So what we did with Muslim Arc is we started off talking about being black and Muslim, right? And how those double whammies seem to have a huge effect. And when you come to your community, sometimes it wasn't the best relationship.
Okay.
So with Muslim Arc, we're based upon education. So it's not about shaming or blaming people because we're a community. We have to work together. You know, your father or mother might have did some crazy stuff, but you still love them.
Right.
Right? So you want to embrace your family and say, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Right? This is going to hurt everybody.
Yes.
Here. So this is what Muslim Arc is designed for. And as it progressed years and years later, we developed like education for anti-bullying, xenophobia, and also I was about to say Islamophobia, but those all came and developed in the times where we are able to actually go to different organizations, different universities, and actually teach courses on how to work together more in these environments, especially like work environments
I'm
where
so
you have those.
interested in this.
Yeah.
I'm really, I want to know how, because it's not a comparison. People always want to compare being Islamic to being Christian, and that there's some type of denouncing of Christ, and I'm like, that's not how it works. From what I've learned, from the many people that I know that are Christians and Islamic. So, tell me, how have you seen this come together? How have you seen folks come together around this, so that it's not in opposition?
And I would even add a little to that because he is the current president of the Redlands Interfaith Council.
Yeah.
So how is it that you navigate these spaces of bringing these
Yes.
different faith beliefs and
Everybody
systems
got
that
their
are
Jesus
held?
and got their God.
Yeah.
That's true, and
Yeah.
and does an excellent job. That body does an excellent job
I'ma come
of
visit you.
cultivating unity throughout the community. You know,
Right.
so
Well, I make it simple. I love my mama. She's not Muslim. Right, so it's one of those things where
That's-
you,
Right.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
What you gonna
Right.
say something bad to her?
Right.
right.
We gonna lose our religion.
Right, we'll lose it all in that sense,
We
right?
gonna lose it all.
So you have to embrace the different things. I mean, even my brother, he went to, trying to remember where he went. It was Philippines, and he started studying Buddhism, right? And the things is that diversity, I think we're created here as diverse. And diversity, if you can't love yourself and your own diversity if you can't love other people. Because it's part of you.
Right.
Like those
Right.
aspects that you might not like in this
Right.
person might be a part of you that you don't like yourself in.
Right. And need
So
to work on.
and need to work on. So I see a lot of these different religions, even with Sahaba Initiative, most of the people there from different ethnicities and different financial backgrounds as well. When we come together, it's like this is a brotherhood.
Right.
When I work with Riverside Interfaith Council, it's about creating brotherhood and sisterhood.
Right.
Because in this time and age, we was talking about this before, about building a community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because what's needed today is that ideal of location is important because we're here together.
Yes.
Right.
That means if fire starts in San Bernardino,
Right.
we all gonna burn.
Yes.
Fire
Put it
starts
out
in-
together.
Right.
Right.
If we don't come together to solve these problems, and today we have so many problems, and I think the biggest problem is that fear.
Yes.
And I think that's where we're coming from. Everybody reacting out of fear, and we have to suppress that fear and come out of a place of love
We
and
weren't
compassion.
we weren't given the spirit of fear.
No.
We weren't. That wasn't a part of. Well, that's in the I'm a Christian.
No, go ahead.
But I say that I'm a Christian. I think that's mostly out of because that's what I mostly
modeled.
identified and that's what I model and But I know that I have taken pieces from lots of different religions
Yes, indeed.
and adopted them because they were better for me.
Yes. Yes.
They were better for me, to even better for me to just communicate with other people. Sometimes coming strictly from any lens is limiting.
Yes.
Yes.
Very.
Any lens. You don't want to, just be any one of anything. You just don't, like I always expect any pastors or reverends or, from
Imams or
I always
bishops.
expect them to welcome me and greet me because the overall, the arching tenet in all of these religions is acceptance. So that's where I feel comfortable.
And the one thing that to me the commonality, and I speak about this all the time, is these ideas, these constructs, these dogmas are learned behaviors. No one comes in practicing
Right.
anything. No one comes in racist. No one comes in hateful, right? These are
Xenophobic.
these are taught
No.
behaviors.
I know.
And like I always say, no matter, I hope that everyone in this gift and blessing of life reach their desired destination beyond the veil of death. But in the interim, we are humanity, and human problems require human solutions, and we are the
Exactly.
humans.
Exactly.
So the things that are often used to divide us and to pit us against one another, they want us to not look at the box or the cage that they put us in and fight amongst ourselves.
Right.
We have to get back to seeing the humanity in one another and ourselves, because this is this life is a gift for each one of us, regardless of what deity one may praise, and our time here is limited.
Yes.
So it's a choice to live divided. To me, we need to choose that hope. Unity,
It is a choice
love.
to live divided. Segregation is a choice. What a perfect segue into Dr. Thomas. Dr. Thomas, they say you've been 40 years pastoral care.
Yeah, pastoring almost 40 years. Yeah.
Almost 40 years. You probably didn't even realize that, huh?
I did.
Okay. You said 40
I lived it.
years.
Because I was
What are you
tired.
reading? And you have, a few callings on your head, sir. And I see that you have different degrees across education, divinity, business, Pan-African studies. How do these disciplines inform your approach to Black workers' equity?
Good. First, I want to say to Janara and to everyone who's listening, I consider myself Muslim as well.
Okay.
Because Muslim is one who's submitted to Allah.
Right.
And
I'm
Allah is
submitted
God.
to God all day.
Right.
And my name, Nosakeri, is Benin, and it means God's way is the only way. And that's, how I try to live my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
No security.
The amazing thing is, when this opportunity at the Black Worker Center came available, I wasn't looking for anything.
That's when it happens.
But, I was teaching. I was a professor at one of the institutions. I had I still have a coaching and consulting business, Dr. Nas Coaching and Consulting, and just doing my thing. And this came along, and I said, "Wow, what is going on?" I didn't even know it was happening. And then I said, "This can't be happening, because if it was happening, if it existed, I would know about it." Well, it turned out they were just starting it. And so I looked behind the scenes and saw certain folks that I knew who were part of the development of it. And I said, "Well, I don't get paid to do this, so it'd be wonderful to get paid to do it."
Amen.
Right.
Because when it's your strength, it's part of your constitution, it's part of who you are, it's your temperament. You do it whether you get paid to do it or not.
Right.
That's very true.
Right.
Right.
So literally, I have a bachelor's degree in theology and accounting. I use that.
Right.
My pastoral work, I use that. The sensitivity, the empathy that's required to
Right.
understand and nurture people.
Right.
Right. And so I use that. The education, the research, I use that. in following the trends and understanding what's happening next and what
Right.
happened in the past, right?
Right.
I use all of that. And then, pastoral work is educating people, open the eyes of the blind, recovering sight to the blind, setting the captives free. And so that's the work.
Abolitionist.
That's the work. It is abolitionary work. It is liberation work. It is the work of setting the captives free. And so, and turning on the light so that they can see what's not seen. And the primary thing is understanding that you got power.
Amen.
Right.
You got power.
Yeah.
I sure.
Nobody
have
said
everything
it.
you need.
They try to take it from you, but you
Right.
have power. So,
Right.
so we've got individual power, but we have even greater power collectively.
Yes.
Right.
And so that's what we are, trying to share with people. And I use everything that I am. And I asked God, when I got all these degrees, I said, now what am I going to do and use all of it? And I do.
Amen.
Almost
Amen.
every day.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Because
You-
he don't play when he answer.
Definitely.
He'll let you
definitely.
know.
I have a quick question for Dr. Thomas. I know that you have been working on an upcoming book.
Yes.
And I believe
Yes.
it's going to be published in the very near future.
That's right.
Could you
That's right.
share a little about
Please.
the book and the concept of the book and what you
Yeah.
hope to enrich our community and humanity through your book?
Right, and that fits right in perfectly right here because the book is called Manifestation Mastery, a biblical approach to realizing abundance, purpose, and divine favor. So over my years
Need it.
in pastoral work, as an educator, as a family member, as a community member, I have seen how our people have been underdeveloped. They've been operating in negativity, imposter syndrome, and just really not being as productive and meeting their potential. So I began to look at the Word of God and see what the Word of God required, and kind of looked at not only the Word of God but cognitive behavioral therapy. I looked at the laws of attraction and these areas of scientific cognition, and tried to understand what is the Bible saying and what does God want for us in terms of manifestation. And so our thought life has to be consistent and aligned with the desires of our heart.
Right.
So how can we be thinking thoughts about where we want to be? Let's say it's the cruise that we want to be on, and that Ipiani just took. So in preparation for your cruise, you had to have thoughts that lined up with your ultimate desire.
Right.
Yes.
Not only thoughts, you had to have words. You had to verbalize some things that lined up with your cruise.
Right.
You had to have behaviors and actions that
Yes.
lined up with going on the cruise, like saving money, like purchasing the ticket, so
Word up.
forth and
Right.
so on, right? And then feelings, right?
Right.
And so part of this is the daily disciplines of journaling, and
Yes.
and saying positive things, the affirmations that
Yes.
are so necessary,
Yes.
so that it becomes part of who we are, so that we live this experience. Because our reality is only a mirror of what's inside of us.
Right. Right.
So we've got to work
Wow.
on the inside so
Wow.
that the inside can determine what we see on the outside.
Right.
And so this is what this book is all about. And so
I
we
should
look
be
at
taking better notes.
we look at like unity. We look
Right.
at the universe, the term the universe, vibration, energy, and we reclaim them. We
Right.
say, we can't just relegate them to new age or whatever have you. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Let's embrace them and let's see. And these things are actually in the Word of God, but we've been missing them.
Right.
We've been missing them.
Right.
And so
But that's why
what the
we have
Reformation.
you. That's why we have you, and why we have people that are like knowledgeable like you, who we need to seek out more often in order to get this education. Because you're saying things to me, and I'm like, man, this makes a whole lot of sense. Maybe I need to focus in on this right now because I'm facing an obstacle, and I'm like, okay, So now, but I need that. Okay, so I have two questions for you. One, will you come back when the book drops?
Absolutely.
Okay,
100%.
okay, y'all heard. Okay, y'all heard him. He gonna come back when the book drops.
Yes.
and we're gonna talk about the book.
Yes.
Okay, and
Love
we're
to.
gonna and I want that. And then the second thing is this year has been very challenging. Well, last year, I feel like we in the middle of 2026 and it's only February.
This is
Right.
2025 2.0.
Okay, right. So, but it was last year.
Yeah.
So last year, there's a very stark statistic, but it is a very real statistic that there were over 300,000 black women that were removed from the workforce.
By August,
By
318,000 black women have been removed from government positions. That's just the women.
that's just the women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
How do we recover?
that's painful.
Do we recover? How do we recover? What is happening? Where are they?
Yeah.
What happens? What has happened to them? What are they doing? They had families that they were caring for, adults, senior parents. If you 300,000, what city is that? Think of a city that has 300,000 people in it, and all those people were out of work.
300,000. Riverside.
Devastates the city.
Rialto.
Yeah,
At 300,000.
yeah.
San Bernardino got 200 and something thousand.
Right.
So imagine
All of San Bernardino being unemployed. and-
being unemployed.
That's almost right.
And so now what you have is where we need you and the Black Worker Center more than ever, I feel, is these women are going to have to go into a different kind of workforce than they maybe had, not been ready to do because they got to take care of themselves.
Yes.
And how do we make sure that they're being treated fairly on the job
Right.
when they were basically thrown away by a government that how I can't imagine the lift on that for advocates of black workers or black worker justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do we even start besides praying for everybody? But where do we even start?
Yeah, it's crushing to think about that, and it's really the undermining and the destruction of our community, of us as a people, really, and attacking the federal workers in itself is an attack against black people, because many of us have gotten our work and our retirements and stable employment through federal work.
Yes.
So that's
Because
not,
that
that's
is what we were learned and we were told to
that.
do.
we were taught that.
We were taught that.
Yeah, we were taught that.
Get a good government job.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so you asked a powerful question, and that was, where did they go and what are they doing? And I don't have an answer to that. Except that some of them were able to get new jobs. Some of them said, I was sick of it when I was there. I ain't going back.
Right.
And so they have forged new entrepreneurial
New paths.
opportunities, right? And so, but the work is great. It is vast. And we have to keep doing the work that we've been doing.
Yes.
Educating people so that they understand that they don't have to take anything.
Right.
They understand that there are laws. There is what is called wage theft. There are laws that are for you, and the state will support you
Yes.
and your claims. And so we just have to keep doing the work that we're doing and not be discouraged. But certainly it was sobering to hear that. And I first latched on to that figure probably June, July last year. Black August last year. I was preaching that. I was
Yeah.
talking about that.
Great segue.
You know,
Great segue.
318,000 black
Yes.
women.
Wow.
I have been talking about it and asking where did they go?
Yeah.
On that tip of Black August, Brother Gennaro, I know that we're coming to our last 4 minutes of the show.
Right, and I do want to ask, but hold on, I want to make sure we ask, what can we do to support you?
Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay.
How can we connect with the Shahaba Initiative, Muslim Arc, and if you could briefly share about Black August?
Okay, so probably about 2018, I started the first Inland Empire Black August in Fairmount Park. And ever since then, I continue that until last year and continue on. Except for 1 year, I think COVID shut it down.
Okay, okay.
Right. So what it is about supporting supporting individuals who sacrificed themselves to get us to where we're at today.
Oh, wow.
So Black August has always been about those. If you know the history of Black August, we remember Jonathan Jackson. We remember some of the other people who died and fought trying to give awareness and trying to build a better tomorrow for us. But also about Muslim Mark. I want to make sure everybody know about Muslim Mark. I have the flyer. I don't know if anyone can see it.
Okay,
but
I'm
you
gonna
can
take
always
one of those and I'll post it on my socials, everybody.
Yeah.
So
So-
that you can see.
is
All the
anti-racism,
information.
anti-Islamic phobia, racism, and identity, and anti-bullying and bystander intervention. So
I
we do
love it.
education.
Okay.
Also with Riverside Interfaith Council, we have a website. Please go to the website, Riverside Interfaith Council.
Riverside Interfaith Council.
Yeah, definitely. And Sahaba Initiative is a local organization out here. You can look at our website, sahabainitiative.org.
SahabaInitiative.org.
Does a lot of food distribution, a lot of programs, but really addressing the needs of our community for everyone throughout the
I
community.
love that. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem.
I
Thank
am
you for
so
inviting me.
happy. Dr. Thomas, what can we do for you? How
Yeah.
can we support you?
Appreciate that. You
Besides hooking up with Sahaba
Yeah.
and art, but how can we?
yes, you can do like Ivyani did and become a member.
Okay.
So we're looking for volunteers. We're looking for members all the
Okay.
time. We're looking for folks who will walk with us, who will stand with us, who will go to Sacramento for us.
Okay.
And so we're looking for that. We ask folks to follow us on our socials, to stay
Okay.
engaged.
I follow you.
Yeah,
I
so and a lot of times we're involved with what our partners are involved with. So we supported reparations, housing issues. So a number of issues that intersectionally impact Black people and Black
Right.
workers.
Right.
We support those things. Policy, we've had some great policy wins in the last couple of years, and so we're just excited and ask that folks follow us at iebwc.org.
Okay. iebwc.org. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. When the book drops, you're coming back.
Yes.
You can come back whenever you want to. Just tell us. We always have stuff to talk about. But I want to thank you both. Thank you, Ivyani, so much for bringing these two
Thank you for the opportunity.
warriors, civil rights leaders,
indeed.
to my attention. And I want to close the show. This has been a great show. I want to close the show by all of us being able to say something that meant so much to me as growing up with from Jesse Jackson. I am somebody. So I am somebody.
I am somebody.
I am somebody.
And
We
keep
are
hope
somebody.
alive.
Amen.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. All right. Thank you, community. I will see you on the YouTubes and things like that and on the socials. And we are out. We'll see you next week.